I instantly I instantly threw this out once I found this out. And you might have this sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now, but I'm gonna let you know, stick around until the end because I'm gonna show you some alternatives that you could use. All right, let's get started with what's happening. I actually found this news article, which is so sad. Hold on. Found this news article with this guy. And hold on, I'm going to share my screen really quick so we can go through this. All right. So this man had actually sued Conagra and he actually got awarded $25 million. He claims allegedly that Pam spray allegedly damaged his lungs. Now, I don't know the truth in that, but I wanted to kind of go through this article and just kind of share with you and make you aware of just some things that might be happening. So, this article is explaining that Roland Esperanza said that he was negligently sold defective products that could cause exposure to dangerous chemicals. And he's saying that Conagra acted negligently and failed to warn consumers about the risk of using Pam cooking spray. Now, I don't know about you, but in the early 90s, I used to use this all the time. I know that I used to also use this when I was doing low carb because it had zero carbs, right? Now, going back to that article, this man that had gotten awarded $25 million, actually, allegedly, he developed this lung condition called popcorn lung. And I don't know if you've ever heard of that condition, but it it really is referred to as bronchiolitis obliterans. And so according to that, that's supposed to be like a severe form of lung damage that he had gotten. So what's happening is he believes, Roland, he believes that allegedly from consuming this Pam spray, he allegedly became ill and gotten this lung damage. But this popcorn lung is like pretty serious, guys. I've heard of it, but I never knew of it. Like totally. I've heard about it from the past how there were some workers in a factory that had developed popcorn that created popcorn and they were constantly affected by the fumes of what they also now call, let's see, they call it diacetyl. Okay. So diacetyl is supposed to be the fumes that you inhale when you're smelling that butter flavor. And these workers that were making just regular popcorn bags with this butter flavor developed what was called popcorn lung. So unfortunately, those workers had gotten sick. But what ends up happening with popcorn lung is it's not reversible and it's very difficult to treat. You pretty much all your it affects all of the small airways in your lungs. So that's going to make it harder for you to breathe. That's going to restrict airflow. That means it's even going to impact like how you breathe. And even doing like small activities like walking or just going, think about just going to your mailbox and being out of air completely. That's what's happened to this poor guy. So some of the side effects that people normally get from popcorn lung is they get like a really bad dry cough, a lot of wheezing happens, they get shortness of breath, they get like chest tightness, and also they get tired easy on top of they have a reduced lung capacity to breathe. So that means any kind of high impact activity, moving around, even doing a quick sprint, that is going to make you out of breath, and then it's also harder to exercise because of that. So you have to have some sort of support device. Pretty much I'm thinking an oxygen tank is something that he would probably need for the rest of his life. But anyway, that whole thing that went down with those the popcorn lung workers, that happened in like the early 2000s. And so, because this was happening, all these people had gotten lung damage. And so, it just kind of traced back to the popcorn manufacturing plants. And so, now I just want to make it clear it wasn't because they were eating the popcorn, it was because they were breathing in the fumes that created the buttery popcorn. So, the diacetyl within that popcorn is what irritated their lungs. So, what bothered me most about this was I feel like this is something that could have been prevented. Like, this is something this poor man has to go through with his family, and it impacts him in so many ways. Like, he probably had to give up working a regular job, he probably couldn't do. He probably has to lay in bed a lot. I don't know if he has to support his wife or if he has kids. And it didn't mention that in the article. And I'll put the article link in the video description below. But I wanted to kind of make you guys aware of these kind of cases. These are the kind of cases that we have to listen carefully to see how it impacts us. And how does that impact us? Well, it kind of makes me now think, what about the things that we normally have in our kitchen cabinet, right? And even though he was awarded $25 million, going back to that guy, life was never going to be the same for him. He needs to actually have that awarded to him so that way he could live a normal life, because he's probably going to need to go to the hospital all the time, have medication, have an oxygen tank, and I'm sure those things are not cheap. So, he's going to be suffering pretty much for the rest of his life. And he's going to have some really hard life effects that's going to happen because of that. So, what does this even have to do with carnivore, and what does this have to do with what I'm telling you? Well, for one, um, I want to know in the chat below if you've ever heard of popcorn lung, and after hearing this, if this kind of changes anything in your kitchen. Like, are you going to throw away your Pam? Are you going to swap it out with something else? I'm curious. Let me know in the comment section below. Okay, next. I started thinking about we have these. I love taste and I love the smell of butter. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. But those butter flavor smells, right? That makes me think about what kind of food I am now officially picking. It's also making me second guess if I heat up oil from an aerosol can, how is that going to affect some of the things that I eat? Luckily, I don't do sprays from cans. The last time I did a spray from a can was maybe 3 years ago, and prior to that, probably like I don't know, like 15 years. But either way, these this case, it bothered me. It bothered me because this is a man that was healthy. He was actually healthy. He worked out and he used this spray like 2 to 3 times a day. Now, there's two articles that I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you the USA Today article that I originally showed you on screen, and then there is another article that is written by the Chicago Tribune that I want you to read if you get a chance. It has like all these weird pop-ups that keeps popping up, but if you can get through that and read the old article, you'll see what I'm talking about. But he led a healthy life and he used this because he thought it was healthy. And I just wish that they did have some sort of labeling on the product that stated that. But just so you know, the chemical that was in that particular product was stopped previous to 2025. So it's in the Chicago article. You can read it. But anyway, it just makes me think about like any kind of oil sprays or, you know, flavored microwave products, that's making me kind of think twice. I've never really been a fan of a microwave. No, that sounds crazy. I had a microwave years ago, and I guess it kept shorting out in our kitchen because we just didn't have, like, I guess, the appropriate wattage for it, and we just gave up using it, and instead we used the oven and the top of our stove. But Yeah, I made popcorn on the top, which you can make yourself. I can teach you guys if you want to know that. But anyway, I just want to make it very clear that if you do continue to use oil sprays, not all of them contain diacetyl. They don't all contain that. So, that was just with that one product, but always read the label with anything that you purchase. But it just made me think about how I need to think twice about also looking at labels. So anyway, here is some alternatives for you if you are using spray oils. You can a if you want, and it's not officially carnivore, but you can use avocado oil, right? Another oil that you can use that's an alternative, and I would make sure it's in a glass bottle. That would be olive oil. Olive oil can spoil quickly, right? So you got to make sure it's in a dark bottle. I usually like the California blend and I'll put that one on the screen. I'll take a picture of it. I usually like to use this one, and I only use like maybe a teaspoon of it. And that's usually if I decide to just give something a little flavor. Okay, another alternative. Now, this is carnivore friendly. You can use butter. Yeah, just use butter, guys. Usually it's made with what? Milk, cream, salt, right? Usually that's what it's made with. Another alternative that you could use is ghee. So that's butter that's been already melted. You could also use beef fat, which is also known as tallow. You can make your own tallow at home. And you can also use bacon grease. Yeah, you could use that for up to a week. Good for a week if you store it in the fridge, as far as I know. I've never stored it outside of the fridge, so I can't speak on that. But, just make sure that you strain it really well and it doesn't contain like bacon bits in it. So, anyway, this video was pretty much just to bring you like just some awareness. I didn't want to make you feel any kind of fear. I didn't want you to be scared, but you ultimately have control over what you buy. And you don't have to purchase anything if you feel like it's going against your values. Okay. But I wanted you to know about popcorn lung, and I wanted you to know where it came from. And I wanted you to know why cases like this matter, because we really have to start looking at the labels that we have. Even if we're like, I can't even pronounce this. This is like a long string of letters. Maybe it's something you want to skip and you don't want to, consume. But anyway, you have an alternative, and you don't have to feel like you need to rely on it if you don't want to take any chances. So, anyway, speaking of alternatives, I do have another video that's going to come up on the importance of using whole foods in your diet. If you can't do carnivore, I don't want you to feel like a failure. I've been down that road. I did carnivore and it was amazing, but I'm doing a different type of journey and I'm just documenting it. And I'm just going to show you just some of the things in what I eat in a day and how you can eat the same way too and feel like you have a great energy level. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure you're clicking on that screen to go to the next video.